السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عاشوراء the journey of love.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum to everybody watching this video on the Lantern of Light platform. My name is Sayyida Isha Sadiq Haider, and in this video I will be giving you my personal reflective analysis on the learnings that I have derived from the life of Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha, in a hope that even you will be able to benefit from my derivations. I am an advocate of living our lives actively in service of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. And I also believe that rather than waiting for the Imam Ajalallahu Ta'ala Farajak to return from occultation, we spend our lives right now actively in his service. Let me start off with a personal story that got me to reflect about the life of Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha. The last weekend I was sitting with my children and a thought suddenly smothered me out of the blue. Isha, if you were to pass away right now, will you be proud of the legacy that you'll leave behind? And have you offered enough to the Imam of your time during your life that once you're dead, you'll be ready to face him? And what have you offered to the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam to support your proclaimed love for them? I then decided to sit down and reflect. I feel that the demands of the age of modernity have compelled us all to live our lives in a mundane manner, with a set schedule that repeats itself hour by hour, day by day, year by year, to an extent that our lives have become a robotic anomaly, where the focus is on materialistic progress, whereas our spiritual development is diminishing. Our spiritual self is what differentiates us from animals. To that end, it's crucial for us to, once in a while, occasionally sit down and self-reflect, whereby ensuring that a link is maintained between our physical bodies and our spiritual self. So I began my reflective analysis, and I thought to myself, if I truly want to be amongst the helpers of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, I need a pretty strong role model. And I need to get serious with my life. Alhamdulillah, our history is replete with examples of immaculate, iconic personalities that we can take lessons from. For instance, our prophets, our 14 infallibles, the martyrs of Karbala, and all the impeccable ladies behind the scenes, for example, the mothers of the Shuhada'i Karbala. I needed someone whose life I can embody, and thereby making an afterlife for myself. After considerable thought, I felt a magnetic aura emanating from one particular lady, Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha. I felt that there was a lot that I could learn from Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha's life, especially her stage of life as a mother. The role of a mother, as we are all going to agree, remains indisputable in civic society. How women uphold and stand true to this role is what determines the success of a generation, a society, and even an ideology. Now we are all aware that Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha was the stepmother of Imam Hassan alayhi salam and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Sayyida Ummul Baneen salamullah alayha knew the Imam of her time, and she also knew the Quranic verse, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمُوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. So she knew it was incumbent upon her to love the Imams. And so, although being a stepmother, she ensured that her personal whims did not get in the way of her religious obligations, to an extent that her love for the two Imams transcended her love for her own 4 children. Historical accounts highlight how incessantly and arduously she trained her children to serve the Imam of her time. What about me, I thought. I've also read this Quranic verse, Am I mindful of my duties towards the Imam of my time, Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajak? Just like how Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha was? Let's constructively re-examine this, I thought to myself. I said to myself that yes, I love Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, but Isha, isn't a lover as good as the sacrifices he's willing to make for the beloved? What sacrifices have I made for my Imam Mahdi alayhi salam to proclaim and assert that I love him? Have I lived for the Imam in this world, or have I allowed the world to live in me? If I truly love Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, do I think about him prior to doing anything in my life? Do I think that if I do this, will it make Imam Mahdi alayhi salam happy or sad? Just like the unconditional love Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha had for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, have I directed my children to live in servitude of the Imam of my time? Have I created a legacy for my children to follow whereby they'll use it to serve the Imam of their time, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, and obviously remember me with gratitude and not with resentment once I'm gone? Actions do speak louder than words. I may argue that I love Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, but I felt that if I have not intertwined the vows of Ahlulbayt alayhi salam with the dunyavi study materials of my children, then what have I been doing as a mother? Have I just been sitting in majlises year by year in Muharram, commemorating the anecdotes of self-sacrifice, and then obliviously returning home with a mission-accomplished face, without disseminating the knowledge that I've learned to my children? If yes, then I have truly misconstrued the purpose of the sacrifices made on the day of Ashura. I know that I'll be questioned about the way I've raised my children and the values I choose to inculcate within them. Whether I give precedence to transient materialistic knowledge over the ephemeral wisdom of the Ahlulbayt would be a choice on which I will be, just like any other mother, held accountable and answerable one day. Overall, I felt that it is extremely challenging to pick one particular lesson from the life of Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha, as her entire life overflows with lessons of self-sacrifice, humility, piety, and whatnot. But I, personally being a mother of two, felt that Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha's stage of life as a mother is what truly resonated with me, and I realized that servitude only through unconditional devotion of my children to the Imam of my time is what will be quintessential to true love. I knew that if I wanted to assert my love for Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, I would only be able to do it by nurturing the seeds of love for the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam and their teachings in the hearts and bodies of my children, so that one day, insha'Allah, they, along with me, are worthy enough to be amongst the 313 supporters of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. And this reminds me of the last words of Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha when she was on her deathbed. Sayyida Fizza was near her and asked Sayyida Ummul Baneen Salamullah alayha that, Ya Sayyida, you have lived a very long life. Could you please give me one single hadith that I could base my entire life on? Sayyida Ummul Baneen said to Sayyida Fizza that, Sayyida Fizza, you don't need anything else except one thing, and that will suffice for you to live your entire life. And Sayyida Ummul Baneen, before breathing her last, said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. Ya Sayyida Ummul Baneen, even your death on your lips was just Husayn's name. I can endeavor to perceive the extent of your pain when Bashir called out, Subihal Husayn, Qutilal Husayn. And when I visualize your body quaking and then from your arms that babies fall, just like a pregnant mother delivering her burden, nothing less than the signs of Qiyamah could I recall. Ya Sayyida Ummul Baneen, the magnanimity of your selflessness is for eternity ingrained in the soil of Jannatul Baqi. By the 5 invisible graves you kept on carving till the end of your days. For you were that selfless mother of the Haidari lions, who had only heard tales of her children's mutilation, but had not even seen their proud faces since that last moment in Yathrib before they had departed, where you had held their right hands on the tomb of Rasulullah and the left ones on top of your head, commanding them like a warrior princess that even if it means death, protect Hussein, protect Hussein. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين.